hope you have a beautiful day. And I don't know what happened to that introduction, but anyways, I'm here and I'm alive. Okay, so I just decided, like, I saw a crazy article today, right? And I was like, why not talk about it? Why not talk more about this article that came out? So this is article that came out, and this article is like talking about the LGBTQ, right? So let's just check what LGBTQ is on Google. We're gonna search it. So I just decided to search, all right? So the LGBTQ meanings is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, right? They're saying that, oh, okay, what's going on? Is it like what Google is doing? All right, okay, wait. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search the name of Jesus. Sorry, my mic just got off. It's like what happened just confused me. So I basically search the name of Jesus and nothing happens. Like nothing comes up. Like nothing like that happened, right? Okay, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my fault. So I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna go out, right? And I'm gonna search again the same thing, going back to the same web page, right? To see after it. Oh, okay. Now you know that Google and all of the people have an agenda. Everyone knows what the agenda is, right? You cannot go and say that you don't know. Let me try going back and search the name of Jesus again. No glamour, no thing, like nothing falling down, nothing. Okay, Jesus, also referred to as Jesus Christ or Jesus of Nazareth, was a first century Jewish preacher and religious leader. Religious leader. Wow. They're not even saying Son of God. Nothing. But anyways, so what I want to talk about is the LGBTQ. Now they say I and A plus, so it's like it becomes better every time, right? It becomes like better every time. So now we're gonna read more about what they are and what they're doing, right? We're gonna read more about what they are and what they're doing. So we're going to read about them. So there are multiple types of them, right? Apparently, there are multiple types of them, and multiple types of their sort of people, right? So now it's like LGBTQIA is a abbreviation for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning. Int what? Okay, okay. Intersex, asexual, and more. These terms are used to describe a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. All right. So now they're saying that lesbian, a woman who's enduring physical, romantic, and emotional attraction that is to another woman. Some lesbians may prefer to identify as gay or as gay woman. So gay, an adjective, describes people whose enduring physical, romantic, and emotional attraction and are to people of the same sex. Sometimes lesbians is a preferred term for women. Bisexual, a person who can form enduring physical, romance, emotional attractions to those of the same gender, right, or more, or one gender. So people may experience this attraction in different ways and degrees over the time or over their lifetime. So now check here, they're saying that the bisexual people need not to have a specific sexual experience to be bisexual. They need, or they just have what? They're saying that they need not to have or had any sexual experience at all to identify as bisexual. So now those ones are now the bisexual. Apparently, they don't need to have an experience. They just feel like they like both male and female, one more than one gender. So I don't know why they're not saying like they like males or they like females. They're saying more than one gender, right? Now they're saying here transgender. So like transgender apparently is an umbrella. So, like transgender is not the spiritual father term for people whose gender identity and or gender expression differs from what is typically associated with the sex they were assigned at birth. People under the transgender umbrella may be describing themselves as one or more of a wide variety of terms, including transgender, non-binary. Some transgender people are prescribed hormones by the doctors to bring their bodies into alignment to their gender identity. Now, this word gender identity doesn't make sense because wait, I'm gonna go into it. So some undergo surgical as well or surgery as well, but not all transgender people can or will take these steps. And a transgender identity is not dependent upon the physical appearance or medical procedures. Queer, an adjective used by some people whose sexual orientation is not exclusively heterosexual or straight. This umbrella term includes people who have non-binary, gender fluid, or gender conforming identities. Once considered a pejorative term, queer has been reclaimed by some LGBTQA people to describe themselves. However, it is not a universally accepted term even within the LGBTQI community. So now questioning, sometimes when the Q is seen at the end of the LGBT, it can also mean questioning. This term describes someone who is questioning their sexuality, orientation, or gender identity. Intersex, an objective used to describe a person who with one or more innate sex characteristics. Okay, apparently private parts are different, one or more, including genitals, okay, internal reproductive organs, chromosomes that fall outside of traditional conception. What is traditional conception? Male or female bodies. Do not confuse having an intersex trait with being transgender. Intersex people are assigned as sex at birth, either male or female, and that decision by medical providers and parents may not match the gender identity. Medical doctors, medical providers, people that spend 7 years, 8 years, 10 years to learn and study science are being called fools, apparently because they wasted 10 years or 7 years of their life that they cannot see a male genital. Apparently, they are so stupid that they cannot identify that this person is a man or a woman. So they think that according to what they feel and think in their cuckoo head, that they are apparently who they are. So if I decide to be rich today, while I don't have money and I'm saying I'm rich, why would someone say I'm a liar? Because someone is having a penis and is saying that he is a woman. So why can I not also say tomorrow when I wake up, I'm the president of Namibia? I choose to believe that. Why must my madness not be entertained? And why must someone tell a doctor that studied for years that he is not what the doctor is saying he is? I'm trying to read everything and explain what it means, but it's like stressing me out. I'm gonna continue with asexual. Yeah. What? It's like plus, like Netflix plus, or like DSTV plus. So wait. So non-binary, the objective describes a person whose gender is not a male or female and uses many different terms to describe themselves. Other terms include gender queer, agender, bigender, gender fluid, and more. None of these terms mean exactly the same thing, but all speak to an experience of gender that is not simply male or female. The plus, apparently plus double. Plus is used to signify all gender identities and sexual orientations and letters and words that cannot yet be described fully. So now here they're actually just telling us that this is the way that we confuse and tell you how the characteristics and the orientations of mad people, crazy people. Okay, how can someone prove the truth? Now, before we go, one way, okay, that we know that the truth is actually by finding enough text, written text, which is confirmed by many sources, right? And we use that text plus primary information to say that this thing is real. There must be a form of information, and it has to be physical, and there must be many witnesses witnessing to prove that this thing is real. Okay. All right. So now, if I am literally having a body, let me shift my camera properly. Okay. So if I'm having a body and this body is a body of a man or a woman, and I was born with this body, it doesn't mean that because of me growing up with my mom, and I'm born to be a man, me growing up without my dad and growing up with my mom, and I'm always hearing women speak, I'm seeing women dressing in front of me, I see how women live, and now because of that I've been softened by that experience. Doesn't mean that I am a woman. It doesn't mean that if a lot of men hurt me and break my heart, that I am a man. If you're a woman and there are men that break your heart, and now you're, oh, I'm tired of my heart being broken, I want to try to have another gender because this gender is always hurting me. It doesn't mean that. I know this video is probably long and you don't want to hear me speaking, but so if we all think about this clearly, the body is now one of the proofs that you see that this person is a male. If you take off his trouser, you see he has male genitals. Oh no, what if he's born with both gender? It was just that he's crippled. The guy is crippled. He's crippled. He's a man, but a crippled man. He needs to be cut off. Or he needs to know that he's a man. Yeah. It's crippled. The other thing is also, out of that, the day he was born, was it written on the birth certificate that this is a woman or a man? Is written a man because of what the physical things that they see that this is a real man. All right. So they saw it that this is a real man. That's why they are calling you a man. Okay. So now internal. So internal, a demon came in you, or let's say life experience or chromosomes that you have, or identity crisis that you are experiencing. Your identity crisis because you don't know who you are. Most of these things are probably because of influence of trying to be cool, influence, or some of them are just curious. They want to find out what it feels like and how it feels like to be a man. Some of you are close to God. You literally know that you know the truth, yet you believe that no, I'm actually a woman while you're a man. Can you not see that your thighs are not in order? You cannot be a woman. You are a man. Your chin, your face, your arms, your legs, all those things are showing that you are a literal man. So now, because of all those factors and the ones I not even mentioned, all of those things are providing. So, but now you are acting based on your feeling, right? And what you feel, and what you think is right. So now, if in this world it was like that anyone is who they think they are and what they think they are, then this world would have not been the way it has to be. Okay, let me say that I don't have a license and I'm driving the road and the traffic officer catches me. And I tell the traffic officer that I am having a license. And the traffic officer asks me like, "What? But show me the license. Show me the physical proof." And I say, "But I have it in my mind. In my mind, I know I have the license. And no one can tell me anything about it." And if the traffic arrests you and you go and tell that traffic that, "Oh, this is not fair." Now, what do you think will happen in this world? Huh? I'm just trying to make you understand what I mean, right? I'm just trying to make you understand because I don't want you to like, oh, he's just like talking garbage about what I am and he's fighting my identity. So let's say that you go to a shop, right? You enter a shop. In your head, you think that you have the money. You take a product at the shop. You go to the teller, and she scans or he scans, and you decide and say, I'm going to swipe with the money in my brain." Do you think that there will be poverty on earth? Do you think that ever there will be poverty ever on this earth? Then everyone will just buy food and eat. Why can nobody just enter in a shop and just get whatever they want? Because you have to work for the money to get the money. The reality, real life reality. Okay? If you are such a woman that you are saying you are, why can you not give birth? Or there are also women that are barren. No, you see, that's what I'm saying. It's a disability. It's a error. That person needs help, medical help or prayers. One of the two that can help. If they get a doctor that can help them, it's fine. If they get someone to pray for them, it's also fine, right? Medical help, they can find it. Prayers, they can find it, and that thing can be fixed. One of the two. But now, let's say that you are gay, and you want to carry. Where is your womb? So now you want the womb of a woman to be put in you because you yourself, you don't know, you know you cannot carry a child. Normally and biologically, a woman was created to carry a womb. Okay. So do you see the things that I am trying to form? So now the question is, what proves that you are really gay? What proofs do you have? Oh, in my mind, no. The world doesn't operate like that. If I come to a T junction and I'm trying to drive like I'm driving in a circle, what will happen? If I come to the state house and I'm saying I'm the president, open, I want to go and sit down, I want to make decisions of the country, they say you're crazy, man. You're mad. You're mad in your head. You're crazy. You want to put a SIM card in a toilet and you want to call someone from the toilet. What? Do you want to connect your butt with Wi-Fi? How will that work? It won't work. Now, I just want to make you understand. So when God was creating people, he actually created the butt for you to release feces. Kaka. So this feces was supposed to come out of there. That's why the thing has been made in a way that feces come out of there. So that has to be released from that. Now, when you decide to take a penis there, you are actually destroying someone's bud. Because that was not the use. It's like you taking a spoon and deciding to put the spoon in your eye or in your nose. The spoon was created so that you can eat with it. There is a purpose for everything that was created. Why are you malfunctioning and you believe your malfunctioning must be taken as sanity? Your malfunction, you want to take it as something that is real. So the bad that you are supposed to use for caca, you want to use for satisfaction. The bad that is supposed to be used for toilet. That's why you see now, a bat is made like this. Like it's supposed to be elastic. I don't know what I can use to show you. A bat is supposed to be elastic, right? When you are not using the toilet, then it's supposed to hold so that even if you really want to use the toilet, it must hold. But now, since that is not possible because you have destroyed it, now it's like this cup. It's like this cup. It's open now. When you sneeze, caca coming out. When you laugh, caca coming out. When you scream loud, it's caca coming out. Why? Because the thing is not working for its use. It's like you taking your hand, putting in oil, olive oil in a pot or in a pan, warming the oil and putting your hand in, and now you want to fry your hand to eat it. Are you fine in your head? So now they are taking pets. I don't know how you call it in America, but now they're taking that and putting it there, but because they know if they sneeze, then caca will come out while they're in public. Yeah. So that is now the reality of now what is happening. They take that thing when they just make like caca comes out because they have ruined their bad. Bad has been destroyed, dismantled. Okay. Now biologically, long term, a man was created to satisfy a woman because a man, unfortunately, is the only one that has the male genital, not a woman. So a man was created for that because it is the matchmaking process of God. He created so that people can match according to creation, not because you want it to be like that. So now, just because you create your artificial things, don't think that that is the real use. You using carrots and things, it's not. That is not the real truth. So just because you are doing it, does not mean that that's how it's supposed to be done. You see, many people like to do abnormal things, and because they don't want to feel alone, they want to involve other people, innocent people. Because I know no one will just start doing bad things. Someone has to introduce someone that feels alone, that feels guilty, that feels broken, that went through something bad, once a disciple. So now they want to recruit others also to be like them. And that, my friend, you are confusing the world. Because number one, we need to reproduce for us to continue living on earth. The old people cannot become older while the young people are not growing. We need more babies. We need people to grow, because when the old die, young people must grow and also take over positions in the industries and in different fields. All right. So Now that is supposed to happen in the real world, right? So now in this hypnotic illusion that you're living in, where you think you're a woman, the real world is actually running. Real men are actually meeting real women. Real women are actually meeting real men. Babies have to be made. Babies have to grow up and go to school. When they grow up, they become teenagers and they get jobs to provide to the economy of the country. You are destroying the economy of our country. You are destroying the minds of young kids. You are destroying the lives of innocent people by thinking that you are supporting your crazy agenda. You can call yourself LGBTQ, whatever, but you are destroying our world. Now, you think that global warming is actually the thing that destroys the world. You think that, um, um, uh, Corona is gonna destroy the world. But this agenda of the devil is actually the one that's destroying the world. Okay, so that's not the reality of the whole thing. Okay, that is now the reality of the whole thing, right? Because certain industries now cannot operate if the right function cannot be in it. Now, you see, you have so many identifications here, right here. As I'm reading, so many identifications, right? And now, as crazy as you are so crazy that you are telling yourself that's who you are. Now, you want us also to now form two types of toilets, or actually three. I don't know. Like since you think that you are a woman, you want to enter into women's toilets. Okay, fine. But now, what if you are actually a trans, or you are saying you are a whatever intersex, or you are whatever, and you start feeling like you want to sleep with a woman? So you were a man, but you decided that now you're a woman, and then you like both genders. So now you decided to enter the toilet. So when you enter the toilet, you decided that you're feeling like this. So you're already crazy enough that you're wearing a skirt and walking in public, and you feel confident, and apparently you're a queen. So you are apparently so confident. Wow, most confident person ever. So most craziest fool ever decided, no, I'm gonna go now and enter the toilet. And then now when you see that woman, as crazy as you are at the highest level, why would we not say that you can rape that woman? Because you believe who you are and you can do whatever you believe it is, and you don't have any basis of law. You don't have any law or any rule you're following, because you are who you are, and anytime you want to change, you can change, because that's what you believe. Your world is a free world whereby you create whatever you want to create in your mind, right? So if you decide that rape, okay, let's just decide raping is not wrong, killing people is not wrong, abuse is not wrong. Okay, let's just say that everything that is wrong is right, and there's no wrong in this earth. How would this world be? How would there be order? How will currency hold its level if we decide that, like, there's no law, there's nothing, there's no rule, no judge, no police, no soldiers, nothing, no president? We are just living all of us like we were. How would this world be? So if the governments decide and say that no, we are accepting gay people, then you are deciding, say, we are not taking, because it always starts, there's always a seed. Before a plant grows, there has to be a seed. Before a baby is actually born, someone has to impregnate someone, right? Okay, so now there's always a seed. When you allow in your country, in your community, in your town, in your village, for something to happen, you're actually planting a seed and saying this thing is normal. And then someone else will come with another thing, and someone else will come with another thing, someone else will come with another thing. And then why don't you accept that also? Because you're supposed to accept everything, right? Everything. That's what you're supposed to accept, everything. Even physics have law. Physics. All right. So moving to the next segment. So now we're gonna read. There was an action that was taken by actually the Swapo Party. Swapo Party is a party in Namibia taking an action and said Swapo Party CC, right, has instructed the government to introduce a law compliant definition of spouse into the Immigration Code Act. This will in effect nullify the Supreme Court ruling, okay, which recognizes same-sex marriage. Swabo also condemned immoral practices. You see there? Immoral. It's immorality. What is wrong is wrong. You see? I, I don't know why people want to sweeten things. What is wrong is wrong. No matter what you think, if it's wrong, it is wrong. You see? So whether you are getting hurt by it, you don't care because it's the truth. Right? Anyone that doesn't love the truth is a sick person. Sick. Okay. So immorality practices that are not in line with the Namibian laws and public policy. Okay. So below is the Swapo Party's full statement. Office of the Secretary General, Swapo Party press statement on the outcome of the extraordinary meeting is Central Committee, which was held on Saturday the 17th. Okay. So June 2023, on the recent Supreme Court judgment on the recognition of same-sex marriage for purposes of Section 2(1)(c) of the Immigration Control Act, which was delivered on 16th May 2023. Number 1, our Constitution claims that all power shall vest in the people of Namibia, who shall exercise their sovereignty through democratic institutions of the state. The Swapo Party, being a mass-based political party born and sealed in the crucible of a popular and heroic struggle for our independence, is founded on the principles of democracy, solidarity, freedom, social justice, and progress. These principles on which Swapo Party is founded had propelled it over the years to transform the Namibian society and to establish, sustain, and maintain a peaceful democratic society. Therefore, it is not surprising that whoever called upon by its members and public, it is both political and constitutionally enjoined to respond in a positive and impactful manner, right? So that being the case, when its members and public voice their concern in the issue of public interest, it is enjoined and obligated to take necessary measures and steps. So over the last 33 years, the Swapo Party had notably, through its government, taken necessary steps in order not only to make new laws, but also to repeal and modify existing laws that do not serve the public interest. You see there? Some just want to do things because it has to benefit the people. So that's why I love Swapo. So to this effect, various common law principles, rules, then a number of pre-independence acts of parliament had been repealed or modified in terms of Article 66(2) and the Article 141, okay, respectively the Constitution, right? So the Supreme Court of Namibia, in two consolidated appeals, namely Shilia Lilis and Dingashu v. Minister of Home Affairs under the case number SA 6/2022, delivered its judgment on 16 May 2023. So the two appeals in which Namibian nationals were married in foreign nationals in the same-sex marriage concluded in their countries which recognized the same-sex marriage, namely South Africa and Germany. So the court had to determine amongst others, whether or not the Ministry of Home Affairs was correct in its refusal to recognize the two foreign nationals. Okay, nationals. In the aforesaid same-sex marriage, validly married in a foreign country for purpose of qualifying a spouse of a Namibian same-sex partners as contemplated under the section 2(1) of the Immigration Control Act 7 of 1993, which exempts spouses and dependents of Namibian nationals for necessary permits under Chapter 6 of the Immigration Control Act for purposes of entering into and residing in Namibia. So the Supreme Court had to decide whether or not the Ministry of Home Affairs was correct in its refusal to recognize the two foreign nationals as spouses to their Namibian same-sex partners who were validly married in countries that recognize same-sex marriage for immigration purposes under the section you see there. So now the Supreme Court found that the exclusion of foreign partners who are vividly married to Namibian citizens in the same-sex marriage recognized in foreign countries from the ambit and meaning of the term spouse, right, in section 21C of the Immigration Control Act infringed those foreign national rights to dignity and equality under the Namibian constitution. So the above findings was made after the Supreme Court concluded that in terms of Namibian law, the vividity of a marriage is determined on accordance to the legal requirements of the country where the marriage was concluded. So this legal position, according to the Supreme Court, is in accordance with the applicable common law principle, which means the law that is running in the country, right? I think so. So in Latin called lex loci law, clabritionis, whatever that word, which the court found remains part of Namibian law. So now 5, the appellants both in the High Court and Supreme Court challenged the ministry's approach in its refusal to recognize them as spouses of Namibian nationalists in marriage vividly concluded in countries that recognize same-sex marriages. The Swapo Party government, both in High Court there where it succeeded and in Supreme Court where it lost, in accordance with the Namibian Swapo Party long-standing policy on marriage and family, opposed the two cases. Right? So government in the main contended that when regard is had to the Namibian common law, various acts of parliament and Article 14 of the Namibian Constitution, same-sex marriage are not recognized. In particular, government highlighted in the Supreme Court the fact although the two foreign nationals were married to Namibian citizens in the countries which recognize same-sex marriages, the foreign nationals could not qualify spouses in terms of Section 2(1) of the Immigration Control Act, as qualification would be inconsistent with the Namibian laws and policies. Unfortunately, and yet disconcertingly, notwithstanding the government spirited opposition to the recognition of those marriages, the Supreme Court, the majority judgment with one judge dissenting, ruled against government that the ministry's approach to exclude foreign nationalists vividly married to Namibians in the same-sex marriage from term spouse under Section 2. whatever from the Immigration Court Act infringes their rights. So the Supreme Court, therefore, in the end, made an order that both those two people, lilies, must be regarded as spouses to their Namibian same-sex partners only for the purpose of Section 2 whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. So now, because of a great deal of what appears to be confusion over the scope and ambit of the Supreme Court's finding, it is important that we inform our members and the public that the Supreme Court itself, under paragraph 134 of its judgment, pointed out that in the view of the fact that marriages are manifold-faced, BD, its judgment only deals with and is only applicable to the recognition of foreign spouses in vividly concluded same-sex marriages for purpose Section 2.21C of the Immigration Control Act. Now, 10 says that the Central Committee observed that the judgment, when properly considered and read, does not generally recognize the same-sex marriage in Namibia as some seek of portray. It is of limited scope and effect. The Central Committee, in the aftermath of the Supreme Court judgment, as the highest organ of authority between Congress and its customary vigilance over typical issues affecting the nations, immediately decided to discuss and interrogate the nature, import, and effect of the judgment. After the Central Committee intensively discussed the judgment and its effects on the society as a whole, it hereby expresses its grave concern and disappointment over the judgment and the uncertainty and confusion it creates, notwithstanding its confined scope. So the Central Committee observed and reiterated that in accordance with the accepted maximum of international law and as per the sentiments of the Supreme Court, in another judgment, Minister of Home Affairs and Immigration V. Holdman and others, 2022 NR 303 NC, Namibia has the power as inherent in its sovereignty and essential to its self-preservation and security of its people, to forbid and regulate the entrance of foreigners within its domain on such conditions as the executive and legislative, not courts, could prescribe. In this respect, the Central Committee further observed that there are several laws in Namibia overwhelmingly confirming that marriage as contemplated under Article 14.1 is marriage between man and a woman. This legislative policy and constitutional state of affairs is confirmed the Swapo party marriage policy both before and after independence to this date. So the Central Committee recalled that the right for men and women are of all age to marry, and found a family was deliberately and consciously at the instance of a insistence by Swapo party during the deliberations at the Constituent Assembly. I'm a bit tired. So including in the Constitution, and it's represented its marriage and family policy as codified in 1st December 1977, right? So the Central Committee, notwithstanding its concerns and disappointment over the judgment, reiterates and reaffirms the Swapo Party's commitment to the constitutional provision under Article 78.3, that is non-interference with judiciary and the protection of the dignity and effectiveness of courts. So the Central Committee, having carefully considered and reflected on the matter, therefore resolving to direct government to immediately take executive and legislative steps aimed at introducing the Namibian law complement definition of the word spouse into the Immigration Control Act, which definition will inevitably modify, not repeal, the common law principle applied by both Supreme Court only for purpose of Section 2 verse 1. So finally, while Swapo Party government takes the above direction, statutory remedial steps, the Swapo Party hereby strongly condemns and repudiates. Hey, I'm telling you. So all kinds of immoral and indecent acts, other asocial acts that are either inconsistent with Namibian laws or against public policy. In the respect, Swapo Party directs its government to enforce all laws in a force that are aimed to preventing and combating such acts. So now, I hope that this is not only a political scheme, but I believe that there's gonna be much act on it, right? Positively. Okay. So I hope that that there's gonna be much action, right? I was reading this and oh, it took time. Imagine it's like almost a 1 hour video, but it was needed, very needed, very important that young people must like go into this thing, stand with the Swapo party, help them, you know, do whatever you can. All right, you see a picture right here of how they have been, you know, speaking right there and then doing their thing. Okay, and this just came out an hour ago, so not a lot of people said something yet about it. You will see how also the secretary is there, and you will see how everyone is there, right? You know, doing their thing. So it's very important that you know, a lot of young people don't like to take part in. The people that are loud are the people that are actually doing the wrong thing. So let's try our best to involve ourselves into this type of activities. This does not mean that it's solved. It means that they gave emotion, they spoke, they gave emotion, right? It doesn't mean that it's finalized. It doesn't mean that it's happening. It doesn't mean that it happened. Okay, so let's hope that it will happen and let's put in action, right? I hope that our party is gonna put in action. I believe in my party. I believe my party is gonna do it, and I also want you to always do the right thing. I know it might be your cousin, it might be your brother, it might be your sister. I know you love them, but what is the right thing to do? What is the right thing to do? So, guys, do the right thing. I explained to you what I think about homosexuality. I explained to you, and I also read an article of what's happening right now. And I hope this video was good enough. If you want to talk more about this, write in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram. And then we are going to do crazy things, okay? So the thing is, we talk about the truth. We talk about whatever we think is right, and nobody's gonna stop us. Have a nice one, guys.